getting started. Guess it wasn't that hard to miss. It didn't trip the alarm on your hybrid carbon footprint. Them darts are rigged, and I'm a big fan of carbs and the artist prints. There's a marginal risk that your cards won't hit. It's like trying to borrow a barbecue rib from a starving kid. Be thankful if your stars are lit, or you might get caught between the Charmin and the armor fits to stay out of harm's grip. Karma's a bitch, so when your heartbeat quit, consider all the death you've invested with. The shoes, the booze, the phone that you texting with. Disrespecting gets Second Amendmented, but the species still seem to be trending. From the friend zone all the way to the Kremlin, the devil give a fuck about a flag or an emblem. Things ain't been the same since Trayvon. Things ain't been the same since Reagan. Things ain't been the same since the days when the gods went crazy and broke the languages. We tryna make these payments, ain't got the privilege to exhibit the patience. Gone next week, so tonight we lie with no lives to save. Seismic waves. I should jump back and kiss myself, but I've been working on learning to resist myself. I used to think criticism was the definition, fish swimming up a river full of pessimism. I want to catch one barehanded, clean it, cook it, and feed it to Lazarus. All around the planet it's the same as Minneapolis. Everybody looking for a little love and happiness. I don't romanticize the rain, and those drugs only hide the pain. Turn up the temperature, high as a plane. What non sequiturs to tie up your train. Hey, you could keep Christopher Walken with the shit that you talking. You can't take it with if it don't fit in your coffin. As a kid, I didn't give it much thought then. Just wanted a mouthful of nipple and a Zippo in my zipper pocket. I remember when the whole world stank like an ashtray. The good old days. I wanna laugh when somebody say the good old days, but they was good cause we did learn to look both ways across the roadway. Like everything will be okay before we go the f away like a snowflake. Gone next week, so tonight I'm trying to reach those seismic, climb those seismic waves.
You're listening to The Local Show here on 89.3 The Current. I'm your host, Andrea Swensson, in the studio right now with Atmosphere, Slug, and we're also joined by plain Ole Bill. Hello, guys.
Hi. Sorry.
Should we do that again?
No.
I didn't know if you wanted me to start a song.
It's okay. We get lost in the sauce. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Swell.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
You guys are getting ready to go on another big month-long tour. You just put out a new record, Fishing Blues, in August. You're going to be at Clyde Ironworks up in Duluth on Monday, November 28th, down here at First Avenue on November 29th. It's a busy time to be in Atmosphere. And I wanted to ask you, you've been incredibly prolific these last few years, putting out full records and a bunch of singles. What is it about this moment in your life or in the world that makes you inspired to write so much?
Just hanging out with my friend Anthony and kicking it with Bill. It's been easy to become more focused on being creative as I slowly shed some of the other things that I used to focus on.
Like what?
Partying.
Oh.
Running these streets.
Ant's laughing.
You heard? Anthony moved back. He was living out in the Bay in California for a little while. And we were still making music, but we were kind of doing sending stuff to each other over the computer things.
Yeah. And
when he came back, we started hanging out together, which just, it started the gelling process back up in a way that used to be kind of, and I just realized there's really nothing I'd rather be doing if the kids are in bed or at school, then I want to go make music.
Yeah. You guys have been a duo for over 20 years now. What is it about each other that makes you keep returning to this project?
He smells good. No, he does.
True.
I don't doubt it.
I can smell him from here. He smells great.
Yeah.
How about you, Ant? What is it?
I don't have a mic.
Yes, you do.
I do? Oh, he smells good too.
You knew that was coming. You saw.
Well,
that
let's make sure we forget that this mic's here. By the way.
Okay. You're more of a silent partner in this operation?
Exactamundo.
Okay. Good to know. I'm curious, what percentage of the songs that you do create end up getting released?
That's a good question. I don't know that I could put a number to it. There's an ebb and flow. You could go months with making songs that are garbage, and then you can hit a great one after a great one after. And there's really no science to it, because if there was, I would just take those months off.
Right.
The bad months, I would just be like, hey man, I'm gonna go to the lake. What are you doing? But we keep everything. I have everything there for reference, or to remind myself not to do that again, or who knows what. Maybe someday when it's all done, we'll go through these hard drives and we'll pull out all of the garbage and we'll put it up for cheap or something. I don't know.
Out of the vault.
The vault. Yeah. My vault is like a terabyte hard drive is my vault.
That reminds me, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Prince, because you shout him out several times on this new record. And I'm just curious to know, as someone that also has come up in Minneapolis and has gotten the opportunity to tour the world, what does it mean to be from the same place as Prince?
Well, what it means, that's such a big nut to crack. The shout outs that you're referencing on the record, we made the record before he passed. And so after he passed, I almost felt awkward about the references to him, because I, didn't want to become another one of these like artists who are like name dropping him in order to get your attention. But we left it in because it was natural. Growing up here, and I don't know that I can speak on behalf of everybody, but at least for myself and my experience with being a creative in this town, is that he broke a lot of barriers for a lot of us, and just allowed us to feel comfortable with just being ourselves, or letting our freak flag fly, or also, as a label, even as a company, we've always kind of done things outside of the industry norm. And I know a lot of those things were things that he kind of set precedents for, And so I think that whether or not we were even consciously aware of it, his influence on us as creatives as well as business people, it was super heavy, super, super thick for us. Not sure what else to say about that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Did you ever get to meet him?
Not in the traditional sense of meeting somebody. I did get to share some space with him once. He came down with a mutual friend. Robin Robinson brought him down to the front one night back when James Everest and all of the Groove Garden guys used to throw a weekly at this place called The Front, which was in front of Ground Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, there was a small bar in front of Ground Zero called The Front, and there was a residency that they had there. And we would go down and we would all just kind of have jam sessions. There'd be a couple of rappers, a couple of jazz guys, and I kind of became the default rap guy because I worked at the Electric Fetus with James and everybody.
Ah.
And so I would help maybe orchestrate some of the rappers who were going to come through week by week. And one night I was down there with ultimately what turned out to be the Dino Spectrum. Me and Iself and Gene Poole.
Cool.
And Prince showed up. And we were on stage at the time, and we'd noticed him come through the door. I remember Iself turned to me. He was like, "Hey, is that Little Man over there?" And I'm like, "That is totally Little Man over there." So here the pressure's on. We got to rap in front of Prince, who doesn't like rap. We knew this. He wasn't necessarily the hugest rap fan at the time, And so I did my thing. I used to close my eyes and try to go into my head to freestyle and come up with as much weird things that rhymed as I could. And before I knew it, John Keston, who was on the piano that night, was kind of beating on it a little too hard. I think it was John. And I turned over to look, could kind of give him that little side eye, like yo, I can't rap over what you're doing. And it wasn't him anymore. It was Prince. He had gotten up there and started beating on the piano.
Whoa.
And it was intimidating.
I bet.
So I forced myself to rap, because I didn't want to stop just to give him his room. Even though he's Prince and you got to give him his room, I had to make sure I could go home that night and call my mom and say, "Mom, I rapped with Prince."
Wow. So what happened? How did he react?
He didn't even know I was there. He banged away, and then I eventually gave in and just let him bang away, and then he hopped off the stage to a standing ovation to like the 150 people in the room, and then he beelined right out the door and never came back. And I think we all got laid that night.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I want to talk to you more about this new record, but we'll get some more music first. And I'm really happy that you decided to play this song because I want to ask you about it. But we'll hear it first. It's Perfect. Atmosphere live here in the studios on 89.3 The Current.
Okay. Fall from the sky just to learn how to fly. Don't even gotta put me in the dirt when I die. I'm not perfect, I try. I'm trying to free my hands, grab the day by the throat. Gotta get a grip, but I'm at the end of my rope. I'm not perfect, I know. Oh, and if I had a spare moment, I'd probably loan it to somebody who needed to hold it. Life's indecisive, might slice you open, or show compassion and throw you back into the ocean. I'm trying to keep my faith on the path, but the landscape's full of danger flags. You could change your name, still live in the past. Daddy was the face on a package of zigzags. Fall from the sky just to learn how to fly. Don't even gotta put me in the dirt when I die. I'm not perfect, I try. I try. And you could fade away, you might burst in flames. Ain't no reason you should even try to search my name. I'm not perfect, okay? I'm a father and a son of a Southsider. Mouth full of hot dish, pop lifer. And this little piggy squeal like a cop's tire when I set the ox on fire like it's a box of spiders. You the opposite of truth, you overproduced. You gotta grow more toes, you wanna fill these shoes. You wanna make love like there's nothing to lose. You wanna wake up the world, but there's a button for snooze. Fall from the sky just to learn how to fly. Don't even gotta put me in the dirt when I die. I'm not perfect, I try. Lord knows I try. We gotta work it out, cause I ain't turning around. The same person that I was when the curtains were down. I'm not perfect, what now? Some say that I pass, none said that I'm passive. White trash with a fraction of blackness. My mathematics got native blood too, but no matter where I land, either way it's fuck you. I never been a victim of police harassment. I knew what they seen when I turned job absent. Irish name, Scandinavian frame. I'm a Rubik's Cube, I'm the American dream. Check it out, I'm a feminist, I'm also a misogynist. Spit like an arsonist, dick like an obelisk. And I promise if you ever hear me contradict myself, it ain't a sign of the apocalypse. I've been an asshole before it was fashionable, and when it's out of style, I'll be the last to know. And if Illuminati listening, I don't want to plateau. Who I have to blow to play the halftime show, huh? Fall from the sky just to learn how to fly. Don't even gotta put me in the dirt when I die. I'm not perfect, I try. And on your day of death, may you deserve respect. Don't ever forget that it was worth the breath. I'm not perfect, not yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. How'd you get so perfect, huh? I'm not perfect, but I miss that in this. Sorry.
That's Atmosphere live here in the Current Studios. It's the local show. I'm your host, Andrea Swensson. That was Perfect off of the new record, Fishing Blues, which was just released in August. Slug, there's so much that I want to ask you about that song.
Oh, let's unpack it. Let's go.
I think the verse that really stands out to me is the one where you're talking about your identity and your ethnicity and being a feminist and a misogynist, all these kind of dualities of who you are as a person. And it makes me wonder about how you're often classified as a white rapper. And I'm wondering if you feel like part of your identity has been obscured or erased by the way people talk about Atmosphere.
I mean, you know, in a way, I always approached that the same way that I approached art, where it's like, if you give me the opportunity to define or stand for what I do it. I do it to a fault. But in many cases, once it's put out there, once the song is out, once there's a photo floating, once it goes out there, I had to deal with the fact that, people made their own interpretations of what was going on, And so in a way, I early on in my career, I pushed back really hard when people would say, top 5 white rappers, and they would make their list of the top 5 white rappers. I'd push back on that in general because I was like, what a stupid idea, Then when they started putting me in that category, I'd be that guy on the internet arguing on message boards. I'm not white, But I was reminded of when I was in high school, when the police came, they saw a white guy.
Yeah.
I didn't get the same treatment that my friends were getting. I was, how would you say? I was given preferred treatment in cases. When the house party was getting broken up, I wasn't pushed against the wall and interrogated. I was told to leave, and it's a reality that I've had to deal with, and it's a thing that I've tried to work with and tried to make sure to address. But I reached a place somewhere in the early years of Atmosphere where I just decided, well, then I guess I get to be a spy. I get to be the guy that's in the room hearing what some of these jerk-offs are saying.
Right.
And then I can take what they're saying and compile those notes so that later on we can make note of, who's a jerk and who's not.
Sure. I think one other thing that really catches me about that song, and I don't know if this was your intended meaning, but when it comes to talking about issues like race or feminism or kind of these hot button things that people are discussing, I think a lot of people feel afraid to even chime in because they feel like they need to say it perfectly. And it just strikes me, for you to be so direct and so honest and to admit, like, I'm not perfect, but at least I'm contributing and I'm here and I'm talking about this. Does that enter into your headspace at all?
I mean, I think it enters into, I'd like to think it enters into all the headspace of art. When art's being created, there's something we're trying to communicate. The reason that we're given this privilege or responsibility is because people are interested in what it is that you're trying to communicate. And I feel like when you hide what you're communicating behind things, you create this almost like moat that surrounds the beauty, and you force people to like swim through that. Here's the thing about what I've realized with what I do, especially considering the audience that I get to deal with, is that I want to create music in a way that allows them to wholeheartedly sing along with. And so when I'm doing this, that's why I have a tendency to, I used to call it put vegetables in the cake. I'm bringing you some cake, but there's vegetables inside. That way, when you're eating the cake, you're getting the vegetables too. And when you're responding to something that's positive, and you're becoming a part of the positivity, regardless of whether or not you were trained to think or speak like this. You are taking part in something that is bigger than all of us, kind of.
Right.
And so with that, I was always careful. Aunt always watches my back too to make sure that I'm not becoming preachy. A good example is the song Pure Evil on the new record. It's a song that addresses, police brutality, and the abuse of the power that comes along with being a police officer. But I didn't want to be preachy and just be like, F the police, because that's been said. And especially in rap music, it's not shocking. It's not, and so I wanted to come up with a way to basically say that, but in a way that isn't preachy or isn't overbearing, in a way that is more subversive. And also maybe let's get the interest of some people to go, what is this about? What is he talking about? So that when you finally do break down what I'm talking about, hopefully that resonates with you. Yeah.
Do you consider yourself kind of a mentor to other artists coming up in the scene?
I didn't used to. I used to feel like I was in competition, but somewhere along the way, I guess when I realized that I had reached a position of not just becoming a competitive force, a guy for people to try to outdo, or somebody standing on top of some sort of anthill. I realized that there was some sort of gatekeeper responsibility that had been put on me. And that's when I really started to try to pay attention to how I conducted myself and how I spoke with other artists, or even with people outside the artist community, and also with how and where I spend my money, where I spend my time, how I treat all of it, because I realize there's eyes on me, and it's not just fans, and it's not just, people eyeing my spot, wanting to take it or what have you, but there are more eyes on me than that. And that's, mentor is a weird word. I don't know that I would ever call myself that or self-identify like that. But if somebody else said that about me, I wouldn't cringe.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it's okay for you yourself to proclaim, I'm a mentor of the community. That's just not me. But I do realize that there's a lot riding on not just me, but certain artists in this community who have reached some sort of success, because there's a lot of younger dudes and women coming up underneath us that want to figure it out, and they got things to say, important things to say, and they got a lot of great energy to offer. And so with that, I try to make time and to create space for people to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice do you think that you would give someone brand new?
I mean, it's the same advice that I've been given for a while now, and that's just be honest with the people who are listening to you, with the people who are working with you. Be honest with yourself. I know we refer to this as a game and a hustle, but it's not. This is it's bigger than that. This is, I got no problem if you're trying to make money, or if you're trying to, whatever your agenda is within this, that's fine. I would never judge somebody's agenda, but while you're doing it, just remember you can build a much wider, stronger, longer bridge if you're building it on things that are real, and you're not trying to trick us into helping you build a bridge.
That makes sense. Nice. Well, we're going to get one more song out of you. This is Atmosphere live in the studio with Happymess here on The Local Show.
I wrote this song for you. You know that. You know I wrote this for you. I know you're listening. I don't know if you remember this one, but I wanted to perform it today just in case you forgot. Remember the time that I made you so mad last week, right? You know that it ain't like it's all that rare. So put it here and let me cherish this embarrassment. I know I've been an F up, yep. And I respect how you question your investment. I take the blame, but it ain't to be impressive. Feels like a cop-out to label it lessons. I've been through the rain, but I put other people through a hurricane just to work the game. I swim through so much shame. I think my little man's blessed that he didn't get my last name. And here you are, right in front of me, offering it all tell me what you want from me. I wanna love y'all forever. Just let me clear my throat and rub my wings together. It goes, I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty, but I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's break the surface and make a little happy mess. I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty and I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's make some happy mess. Woo, girl, you the most beautiful thing I seen. Enticing, exciting, even the sound of your voice got a nice ring. Seem like the type that might help me tighten up my pipe dreams. We can keep digging through that dirt. A team up, you and I against the universe. Think about it, what you say to yourself. You can wear my cape, just let me play with your belt. The truth is here now. Stand there with me, look into that mirror now, and tell me you don't see the same image. Gonna be a brand name day once the rain is finished. It goes, I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty, but I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's break the surface and make a little happy mess. I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty, but I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's break it down. Now, I can't believe that she got me on a ball and chain. It ain't a complaint, and I appreciate it. For all the dumb mistakes I've made, I'm surprised that my wifey ain't threw me away. I never meant to hurt no one. Just wanna be productive till that work got done. I danced to a certain drum, but when I fell off beat, you never turned to run. Nah. You see me at my lowest moments. You gave me sight when I got broken focus. With a smile that opens up like a rose does, even when it all felt so damn hopeless. And here you are, right in front of me, offering it all like, tell me what you want from me. I wanna love you forever. Let's put our hands up and touch this weather together. I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty, but I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's break the surface and make a little happy mess. I'm not perfect, I'm this, that, and this. My hands are dirty, but I'm this, that, and this. You've been searching through this, that, and this. Let's break the surface and make a whole bunch of kids. Come on, let's do it.
The Current is public media made possible thanks to member support.